Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Marilyn Piperno, and with me today is my fabulous, smart, and sassy delegate mate, Claire Swift.
We are here today to talk about the governor's speech last week regarding the educational bill that he passed. I am a mother of 3 kids. Jack, who's 11. Jack is 11. Claire and Tony, they are twins and they're 9 years old.
Perfect segue, because what really motivated me to run out of LD11 was school funding. So should we have a go?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
We're going to invest a total of $9.9 billion in direct aid to our public schools. That is $650 million more than we did in this year's budget.
Well, $650 million of an increase in educational funds. Not every school has gotten an increase in school funds. In just my district, Galloway Township got a reduction of $290,000, and Summers Point got a reduction of $962,000, which is close to $1 million. Every student in New Jersey deserves the equal opportunity. You can't just give this $650 to a dozen schools and not give them to all the schools. So,
correct. Fair, equitable, public school and education should be a God-given right and accessible for all kids, starting with pre-K, staying with our special ed and special needs kids all the way through to whether it's a rural, urban, or suburban neighborhood. I keep going back in my head and thinking about the $4 billion that Phil Murphy borrowed unnecessarily at the start of pandemic. We have $4.6 billion in overtaxation that he collected, and there's still $3 billion from the first COVID CARES Act that is still sitting somewhere. So if you really wanted to fully fund public education, there's a boatload of money to take care of every town.
Now, there are few better examples of our commitment to funding our schools than right here in Edison. The year before our administration began our work, the Edison School District's total state aid wasn't even $15.5 million. For the upcoming school year, I'm proud to announce that Edison's state aid will be just shy of $47.6 million.
Well, now we know where our money's going.
That doesn't seem fair. It really doesn't seem fair. Obviously, I'm from South Jersey. Our South Jersey schools are entitled to the same equity as North Jersey schools from one coast to the next, whether you're from Trenton or North Jersey or South Jersey. Every child is entitled to equal opportunity. And the fact that all this money is being sent to one school district, it doesn't seem fair, but now it makes sense. Like you said, now we know where the money's going.
There's something like 116 school districts whose aid will be cut or flat. And again, it's just hurting children. It's hurting our teachers and our children.
There's a lot of talk about affordability in the state of New Jersey right now. As the governor points out, every dollar we send is a dollar less that has to be raised from the taxpayers, right? That's our job. Get it in and send it out and figure out how to do it right, and that's why S2 was so important.
S2 is what killed my schools. We called it the defunding bill, not the refunding bill. If they were really, intent and sincere, we would have seen a property tax relief come out, again, across the board.
It comes down to fiscal responsibility. I mean, if they keep going the way they're going, people are going to leave the state, and we see it in droves. And, it's a shame because our schools are suffering. There's a shortage of teachers.
Shortage in every way.
It's not going to get better.
So we agreed to, as Angelica mentioned, something called S2, which is a bill that we all signed on to that has a 7-year, basically, catch up to where the actual demographics are in the state. You couldn't do that overnight because it would have been too abrupt. And so this budget is year 5 of that 7-year journey, and we're committed to continuing that through to fruition.
Well, it's too abrupt because they didn't want to hit you hard right up front with the tax increase. Our taxes have increased for the last 5 years, and they're going to continue to increase for the next 2 with this proposed bill.
Well, I just think the S2 school funding formula is used to benefit some schools at the risk and deficit of other schools. It's taking from Peter to pay Paul and build up one area versus another. And that's a heartache and a frustration and needs to be re-examined. So raise the questions. Raise the questions to your Board of Ed. Call Phil Murray's office. Try and get more detail. We're going to keep doing our best to exposing what we feel is not right.
Go to your school boards. We do not want to defund some of the
Any
schools.
school.
It's not fair. It's not fair to our kids. It's not fair to the future. So thanks for having us today. It was great talking to you, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Bye now.